I guess that's because, when you're really busy and there's stuff happening every day, it just makes the time go. So happy that everybody is here. Um, I don't know. Where shall we start? Maybe with, I guess, I know that there's a lot of stuff that people want to hear about. Um, and it's all high priority, but I'm going to start with this because it's what I think is most exciting. Um, as you all know, we've been waiting and kicking the tires on the software and really going through thoroughly to make sure that the network works, is capable of the expansion that we're anticipating. We had a number of public stress tests or load tests. We've been doing internal testing. In fact, we wrote software specifically just to hammer everything with thousands, tens of thousands of simulated users to make sure that everything is in order for a proper launch. I'm really pleased to report the results of the most recent fixes and stress tests and upgrades, and everything passed. We are now unleashed and off to the races. We've been having vigorous marketing meetings, reactivating campaigns that we have been preparing for and that we've tested out. And so, what I'm most excited about immediately announcing, um, starting no later than October, early part of October, we're starting off our Autumn of Music Festival, which is going to be, it's intended to be 90 days and 90 music acts in 90 days. So every day throughout autumn, effectively autumn, we're going to be having DJs and music acts coming in, bringing in audiences to festivals, raves, parties, events that are really going to showcase the software. Of course, during that time, we're going to continue to patch with not only optimizations for the client, the browser, the Xeon browser, but new features that are going to be rolling out, new upgraded graphics and party effects, all kinds of fun, engaging stuff. Um, in fact, later today, we're going to be rolling out big upgrades to our social media platform, what we call the social center here, which is your profile system. Um, so those upgrades are happening, and it's just been a whirlwind of progress, development, breakthroughs that have us now poised to launch out for real. So expect to get invitations to parties and events, and stress like seeing how many people we can bring in simultaneously. But the real launch is now underway. So that's super exciting news, Jake.
Yep. Really exciting, and I think a lot of us have been waiting for this for a long time. So really cool, really cool. Um, Death Division, welcome up. Nice to see you here. Good morning. Where you are?
Good morning.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. It's always a good day when the space is on. I love it and very keen for these announcements. I think everyone's been waiting for some big news, and today's the day.
Yeah, and there's more big news to come.
Yeah. So okay. So to round that out, Brian. So and I mean, and I know the answers to these questions, but I just want to point. I
Of
want
course.
to tee you up a little bit. So, when can people expect to try dive in again with this? Is there a date on it? Do we have?
So I understand where you're going,
Yeah.
and the plan is really the beginning of October to be bringing in 90 days consecutive of music and DJs and festival activities. But before then, of course, we're going to be rolling out a special events, and uh, 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 we've been talking about bringing in music acts. Um, so really, this is going to start up as early as next week, but the full force, the Autumn of Music Festival, will begin at the beginning of October. So you'll see acts and events and party invitations and this type of thing starting up, as I say, as early as next week. Of course, we have our ninth annual convention, virtual con, that's going to be happening during this time anyway. So November. We're going to be starting to feature artists and art galleries, and all of these other fun, great event kind of things that are all designed, just to take a step back. They're all designed to establish community, um, with a baseline community of people that are always online. There's always something to do. Welcome Center is always jamming and full of people. If you haven't downloaded the software, if you haven't gone in to Xeon, now is the time to do it for sure. Make sure that you come on in, establish your avatar, get your username, create your social center profile. As I say, those are getting a massive upgrade later today. Um, and then we will start to bulk up the community. We really need to do this over the course of the next 30 to 45 days so that when we open up the real floodgates and we start seeing many hundreds, thousands of users new users every day, that there's a community to greet them, to sort of acclimate them to the social constructs here, to help them introduce them to friends, and make sure that the community is the kind of community that we want, which is friendly, uplifting, supportive, and is going to be a positive contribution to mankind, basically. So that's kind of the next phase. I often talk about how metaverses need to be marketed in a way where you're not, the analogy I use, starting the car in fourth gear, starting the car in fifth gear, right? Um, you can't just blow things out, because then you have an implosion. Um, it needs to be done in a scaled manner. So you establish, like we've spent many, many years, I mean, more than a decade, creating our volunteer system so that users come in, they have a purpose, they're helping other users, they're introducing them to potential friends, they're introducing them to the community, they're contributing to the wiki, they're contributing generally to the overall social hash rate. Um, and once we've got this baseline community, a few thousand members that are always coming in day and night, then we can onboard very rapidly. You never really want to burst at the seams. We always want to have a controlled expansion, so that we can achieve very in the most rapid and responsible way possible, right? And when I say responsible, I mean, there needs to be volunteers to whom you can report abuse. There need to be volunteers to whom you can report if somebody is being phished, or if there's issues with harassment, let's say. So you don't want to scale so quickly that there's no infrastructure there to support the growth of the community. But at the same time, you want to do it in a way that is, helps the token as quickly as possible, um, gets as many new wallet holders as possible, contributes to the bottom line and the monetization as rapidly as possible. So all of these things under consideration. We're going to start seeing events. We're going to start seeing stuff happening next week. I mean, aside from our regular events for this week, um, and then it's really going to continue to scale, continue to grow, continue to expand.
Beautiful, beautiful. Um, okay, well, with that being said, I wanted to ask you a question, and I kind of was saving it for us being live. Did you see? Did you see? And what do you think, if you did, of the Meta AI glasses with the Ray-Ban, the new Ray-Bans?
Sure, I've seen them. Um, it's very interesting. Meta is finally coming around to um, one of the things that I was trying to do about, what do I want to say? We're in 2025. I was doing this. Well, it's about 10 years ago, where I was working with a VR headset developer, and I was saying, one of the issues with virtual reality here is the total immersion that needs to happen when you're in a headset, and really to take off. Um, People need to be able to quickly take on and off a VR set of glasses. The immersion doesn't need to be as comprehensive as in a headset. Um, and it looks like, these kind of Ray Bans. I mean, I'd have stylistically chosen to do better.
Mhm.
I think they look horrible. Um, but they're going to get less bulky. They're going to have better colors, and I'm sure there will be post market ways to enhance them from being sort of the Rachel Maddow look,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
right, to being something maybe a little bit more flattering. But it's all progress. I mean, what can I say? We know that metaverse is going to be the next generation of the internet. We know that our technology for metaverse so far surpasses anything that Facebook Horizon has, anything that uh, uh, like Fortnite is offering. I mean, we're so much further along, and we have so much more experience that we're just going to catch this wave. So, I mean, I'm always excited when there's progress in the AR, VR fields. Um, I think Facebook really missed the boat by requiring Horizon really to, work with a headset. But yeah, that's what I expect. That's what I expect from companies that don't have experience in the space. When we turn on our compatibility with these headsets, and that's going to bring in that whole market. I mean, overnight, we'll
Hmm.
bring in that whole market.
Hmm.
So I love it. I love it. Let somebody else deal with the hardware issues. I tried that for a while, and dealing with hardware manufacturers is a pain in the rear end. I'd rather deal with software, but as I'm saying that, I realize software is also kind of a pain in the ass. So uh, I guess it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep, yep, yeah. Well, and that's what I was kind of thinking too. Is that it just seems like it's they go hand in hand. It looks like it's complementing exactly what we're doing, especially with the. I don't know if did you see the Oakley versions,
Yeah,
the athlete
yeah,
versions, really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean, hey man, I'm sure I'm going to get pairs of them, for if for no other reason than just to have them and try them out. And I mean, it's going to open up a whole new market. And I don't know. I'm always suspicious about what Facebook rolls out. They've got some real credibility problems and other problems. Um, you know, I was seeing other stuff uh, uh, about Facebook this week that was much more negative in terms of their safety profiles of you know I mean, I suppose I don't want to get into um, uh, talking smack, but um, nevertheless, it's always great to see progress in the virtual reality, augmented reality field, because obviously, I believe this is where everything is heading, and I believe we're the company that's going to be running it. And everybody that wants to produce hardware that can run our platform, more power. It's going to just bring in more people more quickly.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and boy, we've got other stuff. I should flag what I want to talk about today, because we've only got an hour. Um, I want to talk a little bit about our classic software and Steam. Obviously, I want to talk about the massive progress that we made with the token Uther this week. Real breakthroughs there. Um, and I'm sure lots of people want to hear what's going on with our trademark stuff. So those are a few of the topics, Jake, I think we can get to today.
Yep, absolutely. But before we do, you want to give away a little bit of Uther first giveaway
Well,
of
I
the day?
always want to give away a little bit of Uther.
All right,
Let's
very
do
good.
it.
So first winner of the day here. So again, I want to reiterate, we do three giveaways every space, but we don't put them in the comments. We announce it live, so make sure you're paying attention and you're present here in the space. First prize winner of the day is Mark at Mark Nods, MarkNodz. Mark Nods, congratulations, you're the first winner. Please go ahead and DM us here on Utherverse account to coordinate your winnings. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. And it was really nice to see some of the winners from last week posting up about it. It's always a thrill to see people happy that they won some prizes here.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Mark. Much more to come. And remember, of course, double up your prize if you were here last week. So uh, that's always fun too, giving out double prize. Um,
And you know what, to clarify and to reiterate, um, we do 2x multipliers. So if you're listening previous weeks and you won this week, well, I should say if you're listening the previous week and you win today, that creates a 2x multiplier for your price. So that's a possibility here as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I guess the space has grown sufficiently large that I can probably start talking about the token.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
because, man, so many weeks that I was saying this is coming, and now it has arrived. So we're done minting, and that is the big news. Mintability is now turned off, and this total tokens supply has been minted out. As I mentioned last week, um, I I did not know whether Dex tools and some of these other reporting um, agents would be able to recognize the Treasury wallet as non-circulating supply yet. Um, they have all been informed, um, but right now it shows the circulating supply, at least on Dex tools, as 3 billion tokens. Obviously, that's not really the circulating supply. It shows a wallet, holding like 97% of all tokens. That's not really accurate either. Um, but in short order, I expect them to correct that to the correct circulating supply. They'll take the wallets that we've got as treasury wallets, essentially security wallets, and remove that from circulating supply. It will just be our fully diluted market cap, not our actual market cap and circulating supply. But really, an accomplishment. Similarly, you saw our Dex tools score go way up. Um, and there are a couple of other real huge boosts that are incoming. Now that we got this piece taken care of, um, we have resubmitted multiple times, I think, already, our token audits. Um, so obviously the token contracts have all been audited. They were audited at the beginning. They've been, those audits are valid. Um, Dex Tools is not reflecting the audits. Um, that's going to change. I expect. I mean, they're going to need to recognize the audits. We were waiting until we removed mintability to have them reassess. Um, they're not the fastest. But once they reassess, that score should go up also. And then the last piece, once that is accomplished, we should be able to get Jupiter a name authority to acknowledge the token and the token symbol. And then liquidity follows that. And that's that. And then the token is off to the races. All of the pieces will be done. We can get on CoinGecko. At least we can apply and I'm sure get on CoinGecko. Um, and then the future of the token is, of course, we blow up the software with users. All of them create wallets. They all need the software. The social center, the next upgrade that's going to happen after today is the play to earn. So people will be able to come in through the social center profile, earn Uther in world, earn Uther. That Uther can be converted then into Uther, and the whole economy is turned on. So all of these pieces that we've been waiting for, and slowly but surely making progress. That all just seemed to, we smashed through the barriers this week, and that's all like rapidly happening. So again, a completely different side of the project that also just had massive progress this week.
It's really huge. So can you hear me?
I can. Can you
Okay,
hear me?
yeah, I hear you. You're cutting out a little bit.
Oh,
That's amazing. So I mean, you and I have talked, on the back channels and a lot about a lot of this stuff. Um, so if you're just listening in, we have had Uther token for almost a year now. It's our in-world currency to Utherverse, or to Xeon, I should say, and there were a few of the I kind of want to talk about logistics for the new users or the new listeners, Brian.
yeah, sure.
So the logistics of how you had it set up didn't really coincide with the rules of Web3 is
Right.
right. So that's so the currently there were some flags up. If you own the token or you look at the token, you see the flags. That's really why, because we are a play to, there's a play to earn feature. We needed the mintability, but we're working around that to make this the most attractive as far as how would you say that, Brian?
Yeah, well, so a lot of the rules that I use rules in quotation marks, right? A lot of the rules that these decentralized finance operations apply to tokens are really designed to protect users against spam tokens, against meme coins that really have no utility. They're not really designed for reputable doxed companies that are standing behind their product, that have been around for many years, um, and are really looking to establish proper utility for a token. Part of being a responsible and reliable company, we felt, was not to mint out all of the tokens at once, but more to follow kind of the Bitcoin model, where it is mintable on an ongoing basis as the community grew, as the user base grew. For anybody who's relatively new listening, Xeon and the Xeon browser are designed to be the final layer of the internet. Um, I was involved in the very first versions of the World Wide Web. I really introduced the commercialization of the web when I introduced banner ads, the first affiliate program. Credited for introducing pop-ups. I really invented pop under ads. And when I created all of this in generation one of the internet, websites all of a sudden had a way to monetize, and this prevented what I saw as really a failing of the early World Wide Web, which was as soon as a website became popular at all, it would disappear from the web because it suddenly became expensive for the proprietor, and there was no way for them to monetize. So you'd see websites that seemed pretty cool, and 2 days later they were gone because other people also thought it was cool. Too much traffic, too much cost. Um, the next generation of the internet, which I was also really instrumental in. You can look up some of my patents. The main patent that I like to point to um, is what I refer to as web rooms. This was social media. It was um, how to apply algorithmic tools to be able to operate a social media platform that could boost people, that could give credibility to users so that they could vote on posts and answer questions and this sort of thing. This patent ultimately, was part of a sale, an exit that I did with a patent portfolio. Second generation of the web. Um, Ultimately, where I'm going with this kind of
I'm not sure.
monologue is um, the final layer of the internet is really
Did
this
Brian get
fully
lost,
immersive
or
layer.
am I gone?
Hello?
No, I can hear him. He's here.
Okay. Um, so just to finish out the thought, the final version of the internet, each version of the web consumed the version below it. Web one, when the first Mosaic browser came out, it consumed it. It allowed the apps that existed as standalone apps all to be accessible through the browser. It sort of became the next layer. Web 2 took the flat static web 1, and assumed into it web 1. The Xeon browser does the same thing. It assumes all of the prior iterations of the web and brings them together in a fully immersive kind of virtual reality holodeck matrix kind of way, blending the best of video games, the best of the internet, all together into the final version of the web. Um, um, so in accomplishing this, um, there ultimately needs to be commerce that can apply sort of uniformly across all of the platforms. And this is ultimately the utility of the Uther token um, as the commerce token, the Uther token being the in-world version of this. And um, when you look at it from that lens, the question of, why did we have mintability turned on? Why do we have freeze authority turned on? Is when you're undertaking this kind of large scale responsibility, you need to be able to have more control, at least in the early stages of a token, than you do if you're just throwing out a meme coin, right, Jake? So
Yep.
I,
Yep.
I can see why decentralized commerce applications would say, well, we don't want people freezing a meme token. We don't want mintability on a meme token. But when we're looking at bringing in billions of people, we expected that we would need to continue to have mintability so that we could accommodate, so that there wouldn't be in the short term, over the next 20 years or so, there wouldn't be a real crunch of, there just isn't enough liquidity. Yeah, I'm going to go into economics speak. There wouldn't be enough liquidity in the platform to be able to accommodate new users. We didn't want to make things outrageously expensive for new users, such that they could never afford to come online. That we felt would handicap our growth trajectory. But we have to live in the real world, and we've got to play by some of these rules, even if they are not really designed for us, or don't, or they're sort of counterproductive. And so we found this solution, which is just lock the tokens away, mint them out, lock them away, start burning them, because really, what we've discovered is we're not going to need 3 billion tokens. So we're going to start having events where we burn a bunch of tokens out of the treasury supply, and that'll be a lot of fun as we make announcements and this. But this is where, when you start to see flags like, oh, there's, one wallet that holds 97% of the tokens. Yeah, but that's not real, in the sense that that wallet is never going to put those tokens out into the market. That would be a concern if it was a meme coin. It's not a concern for a company that's been around for 20 years and, has all of the interest in, having built out the software, and becoming the next layer of the internet. Is just, those tokens are sequestered away for the specific purposes of play to earn, of airdrop to users as the platform grows, and so that we have the ability to conduct cross chain and Uther to Uther, um, uh, in custodial wallets. And I think maybe I'm starting to lose people with more of the technical speak. But the gist of it is, you see some flags, some red flags. Those are, they're not of concern, and now we're working to get them removed. And the first step is to mint out the tokens, remove mintability. Next step is, of course, to get DEX tools and these other authorities on board with understanding the circulating supply, and that's going to go a long way.
Beautiful. Also, Brian, with on this topic, we've had a lot of questions this week about, everyone seems to be very excited from my viewpoint, that we're getting to this stuff is finally coming to fruition, but they were also asking, we also did mention added liquidity at a certain point. Do you have any updates on that for the space?
Yeah, well, it's still on the roadmap for sure. Um, all of these things come together as points on the timeline. So before we can really add liquidity productively, we've got to take care of the flags and getting the name of getting the symbol authoritatively designated to us. The software needed to be in condition to launch and then launching. And then, of course, we've got to source out the proper liquidity providers who will, who aren't going to come in without those I's dotted and T's crossed. So, I mean, I think it's a fine time for anybody who wants to put in liquidity as an individual or as a listener, because I think that what we're looking at for the token is a ridiculously uh, 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 a ridiculously good entry point. Not financial advice, but I mean, um, uh, once the liquidity has been added in, and obviously we've got multiple tracks for that. That's going to be the time when everything is already sealed up, and we're in blast off mode. So at that point, it's going to be a bit later. It will not be too late, but earlier is better.
Yep. The sooner the better. But at the same time, it's all a very good call to action, because I've had some community members asking, can they add their own liquidity pools? And you get a higher yield like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it would be exciting to see community adding liquidity pools. It's it earns as well. I don't want to give a lesson on how these liquidity pools work, but depending on how it's added, you can earn on transaction volume and capture upside. Uh, so definitely, I think that would strengthen the token, and it's an alternative to just straight out buying. Is adding liquidity. So yeah, I think if community members want to explore that, that's a great contribution to the project.
Definitely. And that answers a lot of questions that we've been getting here in farming. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, I love to hear that the community is actively, looking for opportunity, um, and many opportunities coming down the pipeline. That's for sure.
Yep, absolutely. I hear you on that. So, okay, so I have taken the liberty and picked the next winner.
All right, giving away some coin.
Yes, sir. Let me just do one thing here. I like to make sure that we're following them before I announce it, so we don't get any fakes. Okay,
Good plan.
cool. So, second place winner with a potential of a 2x multiplier is Tifa at TIFASTELLA. Tifa Stella, congratulations. You've won the second place prize today, which is Uther. Please go ahead and DM us here on Utherverse, and we will coordinate your prize. Congratulations.
Wow, congrats.
All right. Oh, very nice. Okay, cool.
Cool. Um, yeah, all right. Well, what do you think, Jake? Where do we go?
So from here, let me look at my notes really quick. Hold on. Let me see.
I mean, I want to touch on the classic product, and I want to touch on obviously the trademark stuff.
Yep. Oh, you know what? Let's save the trademark stuff for the end. But you know what? Before we move on, I want to reiterate one more time. So if you're just tuning in today, welcome in. This is Otherverse Live here on X. We do 3 giveaways every single Thursday, as well as dropping our most relevant and current news and alpha for the project and for the company. In order to win, you need to repost this space, tag 3 friends in the comments, like this space, and make sure you're following Otherverse, and that puts you in the running to win. um, we have 1 grand prize left, and if you listen consecutively, so if you listened last week and you win today, that qualifies you for a 2x multiplier of your prize. I just want to say that again, so everyone that's new, that's listening, just joining, you still have potential to win today.
Yeah. Um, Always love giving away the 2x multipliers, and so much stuff is going to get given away in the next 90 days. Um, uh, uh, this Autumn of Music Festival that we're going to put on. Um, boy, the the rave parties, the hip hop, all of these exciting DJs and genres, and I'm sure we're going to have some special guests. But always going to be a party. So we always give the DJs. We usually give the DJs prizes to give out. And if you haven't downloaded the software and checked it out, really now's the time, because we are now actually launching, after having completed all of the testing and stress tests. And we might still have an event here to see if we can unearth any bugs. But that would be a huge festive event anyway, because we've really knocked them out. All right. Well, on that note, I think I'll talk a little bit about Classic, because as most people listening probably know, we have been running our second generation metaverse software for uh, north of 16 years, at least. No, I want to say 20. In fact, yes, 20 years. And very exciting that we got through the application process and were approved as a partner on Steam. So what that means is that our classic retro metaverse, we are now frantically, another division of the company, frantically putting together our launch on the platform Steam. Now, the Steam platform, of course, has almost 200 million. I want to say, they don't publish the numbers, but 175 million, 180 million um, de- desktop computer users um, in the game space. And what a massive market opportunity for us to breathe a whole new excitement and life into the classic version of our software. Um, we're going to be making more announcements about this as we go, but we're on a 30-day countdown here to my expectation of launching. And when this thing launches on Steam, I expect that there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of new users coming to check it out. This gives a lot of exposure to the brand, a lot of exposure to um, our our systems and our platform. And because this is the retro version, um, there becomes a lot of interest in all of our products, including Xeon. But maybe more uh, exciting even than all of that, um, is this activates whole new streams of income and revenue that go into bolstering the project, expanding the teams, expanding the, I mean, this it extends our capabilities with the token, buybacks potentially, significantly adding to liquidity pools, out of ongoing revenue. And of course, this all leads into the ultimate um, uh, potential for us to take Rays and move them on chain. Um, and of course, in order for us to move Rays on chain, we've got to clear up this whole trademark matter. um, so, I, I, I have promised the lawyers that I'm not going to go too much into it this week, but I do want to give a rundown, because I was posting fast and furious about all of the people that were alleging contributory trademark infringement or direct trademark infringement, as we make an effort to have Radium come to the table and do the right thing. And as people who follow my account have probably noticed, I haven't been posting a whole lot of new notices. Well, a lot of that is because we have been contacted, of course, and we're in discussions with entities about settling, about how we can move forward amicably. We have sued two entities, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, um, And the lawsuits, once they're filed, then you got to go through just the mechanical of getting the process served, and getting them notice of the lawsuit, and um, doing sort of the mundane work before you can actually take it to the next step. And I don't really want to open up more fronts in this dispute. What we really want to do is protect our trademark from dilution. We don't want anybody out there being confused that Ray is the same token as Rays that we've been using for over 16 years um, in the virtual currency space. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. I would have thought by now that this whole thing. I mean, if Radium, I mean, if they were ethical, um, I would think that by now they would have recognized that they did something that needs to be corrected. But the radio silence there um, is deafening. And disappointing, because really I had such a great win-win solution where they would have done so well. But at this point, we've got to spend a couple of weeks and do the, as I say, sort of the mundane work of legal and negotiations and settlements. And then I'll report back, obviously, when we have news, or if we end up suing more people, or I mean, we are going to protect this mark. So there should be no surprises if Radium ends up uh, having to suffer the consequence. I would rather it be something that is negotiated and happens on friendly terms, but one way or another. We are going to protect our mark from dilution. I mean, a story about the Rays trademark that maybe people don't know. Um, we were using Rays. I mean, Rays named after my late business partner, Ray Schwartz. He passed away just as the virtual currency was um, being introduced. I was originally planning on calling them Polys. That was the name that he and I had come up with. Polys, because everything is being rendered in polygons, not pixels, and thought it was cute. Called them Polys. But after he passed away, as an homage to my late business partner, I changed the name to Rays. Um, and we obviously applied for the trademark once we were using it in commerce as a virtual currency. This was before Bitcoin was even started. Um, we had big plans for the virtual currency, and in fact, it met these big plans. I mean, billions of transactions. I mean, everybody who's familiar with our classic and who will become familiar with the classic software through Steam is going to see how all of this operates. But we had a virtual currency exchange before Bitcoin. I mean, before Binance, right? We were doing all of this stuff. Um, the Tampa Bay Rays got in touch with us after the application of the trademark. So we were negotiating with this major football franchise. Um, it concerned that they have the trademark in the area of sports teams, and back and forth with their legal department and all of that, and ultimately we came up with a great amicable settlement between the two entities. And you'll notice in our trademark um, that it excludes the use of rays in sports. So, this is how trademarks work, and this is how reputable companies deal with one another. You have your legal departments, and then the executives start talking, and you work out you work out deals so that everybody is happy. You don't just bury your head in the sand and say, it's my way or the highway, or I'm not even gonna talk. Um, but we have no problem taking on companies, entities, big or small. Um, it's the nature of business, and it's the nature of fair play. And this is this is what the whole matter is about. It's avoiding consumer confusion as we become massive, um, and we don't want people buying rays thinking they're buying radium, or vice versa. They shouldn't want that either. So trying to avoid consumer confusion, trying to just have have the right things happen here. We didn't go through, you know, a huge, enormous, expensive, time-consuming process negotiating with football teams, and publishing all of the materials just to let somebody else come in 15 years later and
Sure, sure, yeah.
benefit from all that work.
You know, um, and the saga continues, we'll see. I guess that's a great update. We're also going to, time will reveal all of this, and then I think that it's kind of. I guess I don't want to really comment other than that. That's
Yeah.
the update for the day for that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess the recap of that is, uh, 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 probably not a whole lot of news on that front for the next couple of weeks. Maybe there will be, but if it's quiet on that front, it's not because nothing's happening. It's because stuff is happening, and we just want to process it all and not get it sort of ahead of our skis. Um, uh, but that's not to take away. In fact, it's going to add to the value of Uther, um, and everything here coming together for the Uther token, for the software, and uh, it keeps me busy, but busy in the best of ways, especially this past week.
Very good, Brian. Very good. So yeah, we've gone through. Let's see. That's pretty much everything that we've covered everything I had on my list here. Is there other stuff that you wanted to dive into, or should we just um
Well,
talk about
I'm
this?
this covers my list of topics. I'm happy to take a couple of questions if people want some clarification, or just want to I just want to chime in, and then I'll get right back to work.
Okay, let's see real quick. If anyone has any questions, you guys want to come up on stage and ask Brian specifically, please feel free to raise your hand. We'll invite you up. In the meantime, I'm going to just farm some here. Let's
You know what
see.
I like seeing, Jake?
Yeah.
I don't know about everybody else, but it's almost sad to see that when Dex Tools is going to move from circulating supply to just in the in the treasury. It's kind of nice to see the market cap having bounced up around 65 million.
Oh, he looks very nice. It does look very nice. I
Yeah,
mean,
I have a
it's
feeling.
also a foreshadowing probably here.
Oh, I was absolutely going to agree with you, and then I realized probably I should give that with the note of forward-looking statements and all of those disclaimers. Uh, uh, but yeah, I think that's just going to be a pit stop on the way to where I would like to see us. Um,
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, Death, is there anything you wanted to add in here today? Want to just any topics we haven't covered yet today that you want to touch on here?
I think we've done pretty well. It's been a very action-packed space today. A lot of insightful knowledge and a lot of hype for what's upcoming. Let me just double check.
Yeah, I think that the new market cap might be the reason why we're seeing so much activity on what is it, Telegram?
Yeah,
Uh,
Telegram. A lot of
that
bots.
that channel has started to explode and getting a lot of notifications. Everybody wants us to start working with them, or uh, uh, interesting,
Yep.
interesting how little changes.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
no, it's definitely good. It's amazing to see, and like even X is noticing a lot of us as well. We've had some really big, notable traders in the space liking our tweets and smashing the raids as well. So that's good to see. There's been some 100K plus accounts that have been getting onto it. So it's definitely all picking up in a good way. And yeah, very very keen to see what's come, like how this will transpire over the next coming weeks and months. As we're rolling into altcoin season now, and the liquidity in the market's just getting larger and larger. Everyone's making bags, so it's it funnels back down the chain as well. So I'm
Yeah,
very keen, very keen.
yeah, me too. I mean, and with the marketing of the platform starting to click into gear now, you know, as new users start to flood into the software, they're all going to be creating wallet accounts. They're all going to be buying Uther out of the market, and this, of course, is the natural and organic adoption. Um, and that ultimately motivates the big accounts. I mean, I remember, at the outset, we had Wall Street Bets, for example, on board. We're going to need to reach back out now that things are taking on a life of their own and really starting to grow. I can see, the whole campaign. It's so exciting that I cannot express how passing the stress test and the load test have opened up, have unlocked the doors, or to put it another way, have put us at the starting gate, and now the starting gun has fired. So it's not going to be overnight that things blow up. Not literally overnight, but relatively overnight. I mean, we're already September 18,
Mm-hmm.
and we're targeting October 1. Give or take, to kick off the festival, the music festival. 90 days. I mean, that is just going to be an absolute uh, uh, an absolute rush of users into the platform. You can imagine, the user attends a show because their favorite DJ is playing, and then they look at the calendar and they see, wow, there's 50 more nights of shows and raves and all of this music that they recognize, that they want to engage with. These are going to be users that are hooked, that keep coming back, that grow the community, that have a positive attitude, that spread the word. I should mention our affiliate program is live. So you could sign up for the affiliate program. You help promote the shows and the events, and anybody who comes in, that's credited to your account. You'll be earning Uther as they upgrade and pay for things. And it's just a really exciting time. All of these pieces that we've been building for all of these years really coming together. And I feel like this week was the transformative week. Um, and you know, the game has changed now that we passed all of these tests, and we can take off.
Yep, it's exciting. It's exciting times. We're also time is flying. It's already been a year since we minted the token or launched the token.
Yeah, and everybody's claimed, all 12 claims. So until the bonus claim in December, the new tokens entering circulation are going to be cut way down, and that's going to exert the right kind of pressure on the token. Whatever has happened in the last few days of sort of washout remaining sellers and paper hands. I mean, I think it's you know I mean, maybe it's not great for me to be giving sort of technical analysis or analysis of our own token, but it feels to me like that was really healthy to form sort of this. I probably shouldn't say. I don't.
Mhm.
It might be too much of sort of insider or whatever. I'm not going to talk about our own token
Sure,
technicals.
sure.
Oh boy, what a challenge! Not to somebody stop me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on that note, we have a grand prize winner I have
Awesome,
chosen
perfect.
for the day in perfect time. We try to keep these, within the hour, so we're right about there. Okay. So, grand prize winner of the day. Is everybody ready?
Drum roll.
Throw up some hearts if you're ready. Smash those hearts if you're ready to hear the grand prize. Let's hear some. Let's see. You guys paying attention here? Okay, I see some hearts. Okay, so grand prize winner is C-130 at Nicholas ISCO NIKLAUS underscore ISCO. Congratulations, you've won the grand prize of the day with a potential of the 2x multiplier. Please go ahead and DM us here at Utherverse. We will coordinate your prize, and congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. I look forward to sending you some Uther.
And with that being said, that seems to conclude our weekly Otherverse space here on X. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
You know, let's keep up this conversation on our socials, Discord, Telegram. You know, because it is now it's now live. Everything is ramping up, and I want to maintain the excitement level, the enthusiasm level. Especially, we start to see these whale accounts looking at everything. I mean, we're just going to help. We'll all help each other as a community, but definitely download the software. You're going to start seeing invites to events and parties and DJs and music. Make sure you check it out, because boy, it's so much more of a fun time than I can even describe. Going to some of these music events in world. So you will be very happy. You won't be disappointed. But I guess that's all I got to say for now. Um, nice conversations, everybody.
Yep. Great. Again, great job today. Thank you so much for all the insight, Brian. If you're listening for the first time, Otherverse, we break the news here first. So you've heard it all